Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Good. All right, so this is kind of what I do. I have 3 businesses because I come from a workaholic family. And so working on breaking that pattern, but I'm not doing a great job with it. I have Advanced Nutrition and Energetics, and I have 2 lovely women who help and support that. And through that, we do energetic nutrition. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of that, but basically we read the body energetically, and we use homeopathy, which I love, and has also been a passion of mine. And we do energy healing sessions. Most recently, in the past year, I have developed something called Virtual Healing Room, which I am just thrilled to talk about today briefly. The Virtual Healing Room is a space online where you can go to receive peace, where you can find your peace, and you can receive energy healing. So it's a subscription program. For all my subscribers, I set aside about 2 to 3 hours every week, and I work on you, and I do energy work to bring you back into balance. So you don't even know what's happening. A lot of it's downloaded at night. But the real benefit to you, the real gift to you, is that I have a 2 to 3 minute video that I post up every week that you can go to 24/7, no matter what's going on, and you can watch this video, and it almost instantly calms. So I have a lot of families that have their children watch this before they go to bed at night, and it has changed their children's lives in a lot of ways. One of them had severe sensory issues. She's 8 years old, and until the oils came into her life, her mom used to have to go in and half dress her before she woke up in the morning because she could not bear to have socks on. And through using essential oils and through using the Virtual Healing Room, probably a month ago, she put her own socks on for the very first time. Just amazing. And there's other stories of just having children settle to be able to go to sleep. So energy work can be remarkable if we just try it. And what I would invite you to do is just think of it as in terms of bringing peace, bringing your breath into the center of your body, and really not worrying too much about having to understand it and having to have all of the scientific background. Although there is scientific evidence and information, Bruce Lipton has done a wonderful job, Greg Braden, but this is kind of my passion. I love it because it gives people a place to go. And when they combine it with essential oils and get a message every week that helps them understand spirituality and how to use essential oils for emotional well-being, I think we all need that. So my mission really is to lead, teach, and honor and support those in a journey of self-discovery and evolution through a deeper understanding and use of energy. So I believe our perceived struggles are a gateway to the transformational process and the work that we need on our soul during this human experience that we're having. I was gifted with some pretty significant health issues, and I believe that our lot in life, the things that we're handed, the things that we are struggling with, are really what we can gain from the most. And so my passion is to help people to move through these things, because it's not easy, and if you don't have a team, it can often be really challenging and really difficult. So that is my passion. So we all radiate our own unique energy signature. We are energy. Everything consists of energy. Our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, they play a vital role. Quantum physics, yes, science, helps us to see the significance of how we all feel. If we're all in a peaceful, loving state inside, it will no doubt impact the external world around us and influence how others feel as well. Furthermore, our physical condition, our mental and our emotional states are as a result of energy. So I want you to think about this as we talk about some of this woo-woo stuff today, because really the basis of all this woo-woo stuff is whatever it takes to get you to a peaceful place. Because the way that we're going to transform our world is really to transform ourselves, right? We cannot fix the political system. We cannot fix our insurance system. We cannot fix that by trying to find a solution outside of ourselves. So just for the next few minutes, I just invite you to think about what can I do in my life today to start bringing greater peace to me. Because as you have greater peace, as you feel grounded, as you feel healthy, as you feel strong, all of this energy radiates out, whether it's through the voice that we use to share wild orange in the grocery store or on guard in the grocery store. It doesn't matter, because all the actions that you'll have from that point forward are going to be from a place of peace. So, I want you to start to feel what your energy signature is. So who checks in with themselves in the morning to kind of see what your energy's like? Great, good. So I invite you all to do it. It's my challenge for you over the next week, is when you wake up in the morning, take a breath and ask yourself, what do I feel like today? Do you feel sad? Do you feel happy? Do you feel energized? Do you want to stay in bed and pull the covers up over your head? What do you feel like? Because whatever you feel like is what you're going to radiate, and whatever you radiate is what you're going to attract back in. And it can happen that quickly. So we want to be getting up, putting our feet on the floor, and start running right away to get the oil that we need to create better balance in our emotional well-being. So in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about some blends that I've created through the chakra system and using gems to help us do this. But I really, honestly, don't care what oil you choose. I just want you to oil up and be happy. So we have an energy as a group. So what kind of energy do we want to create today? What do we want to create? Right. So let's just take a second to close our eyes. No touching the person next to you, so we all feel safe. Just pretend you have the protection blend on. All right? And just take a nice deep breath and drop your attention down into your chest. This is called the heart center. And for today, I'd like you to create a ball of color. I like to use yellow or white, but create a ball of color. It can be any color you choose. And with your next breath, allow that ball of energy to radiate a beam of light upward and a beam of light downward, as far as you can imagine. And now bringing your attention back into your heart center, take a moment to offer up a word that you want to share with the people that you come into contact with today. It could be peace, love, and I want you to say this word to yourself 3 times. And you can ask or create a picture that matches that word and that feeling. All right, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to present time. And I want you to feel that this is the energy that we're going to cultivate as a group today. And we're going to bring out into the world. And we're going to change it. So this is what I call a grounding exercise. Right? I think it's really important to ground every day. It made a huge difference in my life when I decided that I was going to create this grounding and this centering point. It makes a big difference in our family. My kids appreciate it when I ground. So I made the mistake of not bringing up my chakra blend worksheet that you can purchase in your oil tools store, but it's vibrant and beautiful. And on the back of that tear sheet, there are blends for 10 chakras. Now, who's familiar with the chakras? Great. So, this is a blend that can be used on any one of your chakras. The gemstone that I encourage you to use for this particular blend is hematite. And the reason is because hematite is very, very grounding. Hematite helps us to feel centered. It anchors us. So even if you want to use different oils to help you feel grounded, help you feel anchored, help you to feel in your body, and I believe one of the major problems we have today is because people are too uncomfortable in their bodies. And so they don't want to be there. Their presence is too focused on outside, too focused on shifting people from the outside to impact their life. So I use On Guard, Terra Shield, Melaleuca, and frankincense. You can use whatever combination of this blend that you want, but apply it often and do use it every single day. Because what this is going to do is it is going to help create a container for your energy. So believe it or not, most of us don't have a container. How many of you have stepped up to have a conversation with somebody and you're feeling great when you step up to start talking to them, and then you walk away, and now all of a sudden you feel disoriented, or you feel unorganized, or unmotivated, or maybe instead of happy, you feel a little sad, or uncomfortable, or just plain out of sorts. Anyone had that experience? Yeah, it's because we don't have a good container for our energy. And so we like to blame it on other people, and that, they got me uncomfortable or they got me out of sorts. But I'd like to invite you to think about it in terms of what can I do to make sure that I can come into contact with anybody and not feel out of sorts. So to me, this is about creating a container. And with continued and repetitive use of this blend, you create a really fine container. Can I tell you a story about my son?
Yes.
Story. Some of you may have heard this, but my son is really introverted, very, very introverted, very shy. These oils changed his life. Last year, I was the one that spoke about Lyme, and I was the one that spoke about an experience that I had with oils when I first started. But I'm not going to tell that story because I always cry. But this one is kind of fun, and the beginning of it is not. He was getting bullied at school in an emotional way, and he was having a child who was probably the smallest kid in middle school, was picking on my son, who was the largest kid in middle school, and getting everyone at the school lunch table to say, "We love you, Jared," and it was very embarrassing to him and overwhelming. And so when he started to tell me what was happening, I created this blend for him. I muscle tested him, I spoke with his energy field, and this is what I came up with. And so I asked him to please use the blend on the bottom of his feet. He was not thrilled. So remember, he's in middle school and he's a boy, and he doesn't want to smell. That's his major concern, is I don't want to smell. I said, please just put it on the bottom of your feet. So I pleaded, he finally agreed. That was great. And what I've learned with my son Jared is that if he's not talking about it and he's not pacing, then it's probably not happening anymore. So I'm not going to bring it up. So about 2 weeks goes by and everything has kind of gone to a low and it's great. And then fast forward about 3 or 4 months, and I go to pick him up at school after a field trip down to Boston, no less, for my introverted child who does not like to be with more than 2 people at once. So I pick him up and he's out of sorts and he's angry and he's frustrated, and I'm like, what's the matter? What's the matter? And he said, and he didn't want to talk to me at first. And finally I said, we can't solve this unless you say something. And he goes, the one day. And I'm like, the one day what? And he's like, the one day I didn't put that oil on the bottom of my feet. And he said, we were 1 mile from school, and this kid got everyone on the bus to say, we love you, Jared. So, my son is 15, and from that day, he uses oils morning, noon, and night, and he is the most compliant in our household with taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Success. So, I just want to invite you an opportunity to think about this blend in terms of creating successful classes and meetings. So whether they're one-on-one meetings or going in to visit doctors, whomever, but use this blend, because what this blend does is it helps to contain your fear as well. We all have fear. We all have discomfort. It's great to think that we can be fearless 100% of the time, but that's not really true. I'm a little fearful being up here in front of all of you, but I'm working through. Clearing the space. So I like to use lemongrass, petitgrain, and juniper berry to clear the space. So if I can have the meeting at home, that's great. I diffuse this for 10 to 30 minutes. If I can't, I try to arrive at someone's home beforehand and I say, hey, can we put this in the diffuser for 10 to 30 minutes? This clears old energy. So if you've got people in the household, like a husband that's going, these things don't work, you know? And then you've got the mom or the wife going, I am so excited she's here to teach this class. You know, you've got a really big conflict of energy that's been sitting in this room. And so if we can clear it and bring it back to center, it really is helpful. If not, you can apply the oil to the top of the head. And I, of course, like to go into my hostess and say, hey, can I put some oil on the top of your head? And she's usually like, sure, why do we put oil on the top of our head? Because it's a great place to just create an open mind and that anything can happen. I also like to do hematite and rose quartz. So we were talking about crystals during this presentation, and so I wanted to bring in the way that I use crystals sometimes to set up a room. So if I have a big class, last week I had a class at a spa. Who's been to spas? Like that whole hairdresser thing, that really resonated with me. Because spas are one of those places where there's all sorts of different personalities, right? So 2 days before I went to meet with 15 hairstylists, I put out a piece of paper and I labeled the paper, the name of the salon and the spa, and I set hematite and rose quartz on top. Rose quartz is all about being in the space of love and an open heart and an open mind, and hematite is very grounding. So I find that if we can set our intentions for classes, and sometimes just doing something physical really helps us to bring that energy into our space, that information down, and really get it centered. So I am going to talk about chakra blends. So the Earth Star, the sacral, the throat, and the brow chakra blends are great blends to diffuse or apply for class. And then, of course, wild orange and tangerine are always favorites. I'm sure other people have their favorites as well, so use what makes you feel comfortable in a room, because it's about you feeling comfortable. Yes? Yeah, and you can use a blend or you can use just one. Top of the head. So the top of the head, we're going to talk about it as an entry point for energy, and so if you put it on the top of the head, it can act as a filter. Okay. So I just briefly wanted to talk about chakras and just kind of show a comparison. So chakras are over 3,000 years old. We know that essential oils have been around for thousands of years, and we also know that crystals have been around for thousands of years. They're part of our earth. Chakras are basically energy centers with specific energetic intelligence that integrate into a larger, even more complex system, right? So chakras are energy centers, meridians, energy centers. There are flows and pathways of energy within our body, and we can use them as access points with essential oils and with gemstones to enhance and amplify the effect that we're looking for. So do you have to put them on the chakras? No, I'm going to give you a chance to experience these blends, and obviously I don't want anybody taking their shoes off or any other clothes for that matter, to get them to where they need to be. So you can put them anywhere on your body, right? And you can think that you want to balance out that particular chakra. So there's 7 primary chakras, and anyone who does yoga, I'm certain are familiar with these chakras, but there's 3 more that I like to work with when I do energy work, and so I'm going to introduce them to you or speak a little bit about them. The thing that I want to really make certain with this chart is that each of these things has an impact on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual properties of the body, right? So that's why they're so magnificent to bring together, and that's why they're so magnificent to work with, okay? One of the things that is really important to understand is that just like us, we're imprintable, right? So crystals are imprintable, our chakras are imprintable, and oils are imprintable as well, believe it or not. So it's really, I'm going to speak to our potency and purity of our oils for just a minute, right? The fact that they're so pure is really important in terms of how effective they can be at working the energy centers and the spiritual aspects. So the less pure the oil, they may have some therapeutic effects on the body, but they do not they do not impact the energy field or the spiritual essence of the body because they can't. They don't have a high enough vibration to do it. So I just have to tell you that my parents, my lovely parents who are here in the second row, they have been doing this business for about a year with me. I've been trying for about 3, but the past year they're really doing a phenomenal job. Thank you. And so they brought me to speak in front of the health food store owner in our small town, small community. And at the second class that she was at, we were near her health food store, and she went in and got all of her essential oils that she sells there. And I'm not going to tell you her name, but she brought them in, and she said, "Smell this lemon." And I'm like, "Yep." And she says, "Now smell doTERRA." I'm like, "Yep, I'm aware of this." And she goes, "What do I do?" And I said, "I don't know. I threw mine away." And she goes, "You did?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm going to throw them away. I can't do it." So really powerful experience, and she was open enough to the energy of them to realize that they were so, they had other synthetics in them, and even though they were therapeutic. So I was really thrilled that she was able to move, and I think it was because of the energy of the oils. I just want to talk a little bit about entrainment. I did mention it last year or in the spring when I spoke, but entrainment is just the concept that whatever we touch, whatever we come into contact with, being in this room today, we're basically entraining to everyone else's energy. So whoever is holding the highest vibration in this room right now, that's where we're all trying to get at. It's a natural phenomenon, it's a natural process, it's a scientific process. It's not something I made up. So just understand that and be open to this concept of entrainment as we're talking today and we're sharing these oils. So when we ground and we protect our energy, it allows us to be more discerning of what we calibrate to. Because if you don't have somebody that has a high level of vibration or is holding a high energy like joy or love or peace or tranquility, guess what? You're calibrating to the other stuff. Because there's more people that are holding lower energy in the world right now than people who are holding joy and peace. Have discernment in your energy field. So I wanted to give you an example before we start sharing the oils and kind of going into the chakra blends. So when we integrate these 3 concepts, chakras and gems and oils, what happens is we get faster and better results. So when we merge information together, it creates a whole body experience that is different than if we use all the separate parts on their own. So I'm going to kind of do a case study similar. And if we talk about the concept of indigestion, which most of us have from one point to another, this indigestion affects our solar plexus chakra, right? It affects this center part of our belly. This is our third chakra, solar plexus. The color associated with this chakra is yellow. I love working with color. It's actually one of the ways that I do a lot of healing work. The essential oils in the blend for your solar plexus chakra are lemongrass, petitgrain, and melaleuca. These blends came through during meditation. I didn't just read them in a book. I meditate every day for a minimum of an hour. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning so that I can meditate from 4 to 5. And it took me a long time to make a commitment to myself for that practice, but it's made a huge difference in my life. So these blends came through that process. I want to explain that the combination of these assists with movement in the intestines, abdominal cramping, nausea and vomiting, immune challenges in the intestinal tract. Emotionally and mentally, it supports the clearing of energy or beliefs that doesn't resonate with our highest expression and supports our personal efforts to create healthier boundaries for ourselves. Mentally and spiritually, the blend supports ownership of personal power and assists us in acknowledging our self-worth. We use the gem of tiger eye because tiger eye holds the energy of vitality, it increases our metabolism, it releases toxins, brings us into balance in all aspects of our life, particularly emotional balance. It releases fear and improves our overall feeling of self-worth. So if we're going to use this, if you are feeling confident enough to want to use the solar plexus blend when we passed out today, these are all the things that blend through that tiger eye gem is going to offer and afford you today. You may not need all of it, you may need just some of it, and that's okay, because when we work with energy, it has a divine intelligence. So synergistically, it's all going to come together, and you get whatever you need, and you don't have to think about it too hard. So that's why I love it. So I have some great assistants that are going to stand on the edges of the aisles, and as I talk about these blends, they're going to share them with you. And if you want to, you can smell them as they go by. If you'd like to try them on your body, feel free to do so. Their intention is to invoke change and balance into your chakra system on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. If you have a scent that stands out to you, that you really like it, you're really drawn to it, you probably need that one. I would focus on that chakra for yourself. Maybe use that gemstone, or make this blend at home. The best results are going to be with consistency, right? Yes, we can feel better when we use something immediately, like peppermint oil for discomfort in our abdominal region, but really when we consistently use it, that's what makes the most difference. You can put these blends anywhere you're drawn to today. So again, we're not going to take shoes off and do things that make people feel even more uncomfortable. So, without further ado, so the Earth Star chakra is the first one. This one's probably one that is a little lesser known. It sits about 1 to 2 feet below your feet. So it's the anchor point for our spiritual body into our physical body. It helps us to understand why we're here on Earth. It helps us to feel like we want to be here on Earth. So we have a lot of addiction in our communities right now. People who struggle with addictions don't know and understand how to be in their body. They don't understand how to anchor themselves. This is a perfect blend for them. It's a perfect opportunity for them to reinforce the concept and the idea that they do want to actually have a human experience. So the crystal we use for this is hematite. So you'll see in the end of that chakra rollerball bottle that's hematite. It almost has a magnetic quality to it. It's a very impressive stone, and you can sit it anywhere in your home to help ground and anchor your home as well. So if you have a particular spot in your home that makes you feel uncomfortable, agitated, this is a great place to put it. If you have a place in your home that is always in chaos and unorganized, this is also a great stone to put there as well. The combination of oils that used were juniper, cypress, and myrrh. And we typically put this on the bottom of our feet. I also created, with Spirit, an affirmation to go with each of these, and this is the affirmation for the Earth Star Chakra. I am deeply rooted within my physical body, which creates balance, stability, and protection. Balance, stability, and protection. These quotes are the energetic information that came through just to help you understand with greater depth what these have to offer. So this combination of juniper, cypress, and myrrh creates a powerful statement to the body. It is a blend to stabilize us in this world, to bring presence and grounding to everyday life in our human bodies, all the while allowing the space to soften, to release fear, and to create room for a constant flow of energy from our Earth Mother. There is a solidarity or wholeness to the energy field that can be felt when this oil is applied. Can anybody feel it? Great. All right, so the next chakra is located at the base of the spine. This is the root chakra. We look at this chakra for grounding, stability, survival, fear, safety, anxiety. This blend is also going to nourish your bones, your blood, your feet, your legs, your coordination, so the lower parts of your body. The crystal we chose for this was red aventurine. Red aventurine is also very, very grounding. And the oil combination is coriander, eucalyptus, and spikenard. Now, I like to apply this right at the coccyx, the base of the spine. Really, you can apply it in the lower abdomen as well. You can apply it to your wrists, but this is a very grounding blend, and it helps us to feel gratitude for our life. The affirmation is, I choose to live fully within my integrity, cultivating a life of health and happiness. People's root chakras are out of balance if they have lived with fear. Who lives with fear? Anybody know anybody that's a little fearful? Anything fearful about the world we live in? This is an important chakra to continue to nourish and to support. It's an important, if you don't want to believe in chakras and you don't want to go there, that's fine, but it's an important concept, right? We all have to feel safe in this world. And the more that we balance out this energy space for ourselves, the safer we're going to feel. People who have lived through trauma or who are addicted to the news need this blend. So from Spirit, this oil combination generates a deep commitment to the truth and the wellness of your physicality. It requires the user to take full responsibility of their physical existence and appreciate the lifeblood within. If one holds uncertainty around the body they have been born into, this blend courageously encourages the letting go of focusing on what is wrong. It cultivates a belief that each life, including their own, is critically important. Through gratitude, physical burdens can transform. So this helps people to let go of their stories that they're rooted in. The sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is our second large chakra. It's located approximately 1 inch below the belly button. The color associated with this is orange. This is where we hold all of our information about our relationships, healthy or unhealthy, our bonds to people, how we choose to bond with people or not, how we choose to connect with people, and of course our self-identity and our sexuality. So this energy center within our body nourishes and supports and balances out our reproductive organs, our skin, our low back, our elimination organs, blood sugar regulation, the spleen, and the crystal is the carnelian. The carnelian also brings in abundance. So if we don't feel confident in our relationships and how we interact with people, we cannot live an abundant life. This is an important chakra and energy center and concepts to be making sure that we're healing and bringing balance to if we're trying to cultivate an abundant life with doTERRA, if we're trying to share the abundance of these oils with other people. We have to feel balanced in this area. So cedarwood, patchouli, marjoram, and orange. As I grow to love and accept myself exactly as I am, I come to deeply appreciate my life. Through embracing equality and community, elements of the divine feminine, our life and world will cultivate peace. As we creatively connect with others, honor and accept one another equally, including ourselves, first and foremost ourselves, be open to honest, loving communication. Healthy relationships result first through building a healthy, strong relationship with ourselves, and then we extend the same love and respect outward. Relationship is our opportunity to grow and change on all levels. So I've already spoken about the solar plexus chakra. So this chakra is located just below the breastbone and above the belly button. This is our power center. This is where we hold our perception of ourselves. So isn't it a wonder that when we have indigestion, it is also about our inability to digest certain information. Right? When we're going through a stressful and difficult time in our life, what happens? We either overeat or we undereat. Right? We lose our appetite because we can't digest, or we just can't feed the hunger within us to be and feel fulfilled. So this area of our body, really, on a physical level, rules our digestion, our metabolism, our muscles, our liver, our pancreas, and also the eyes on some level, because our perception of the world and our perception of ourselves is very impactful to our overall health and to our overall personal power. So the gem we use for this, as I mentioned, is tiger eye, and tiger eye is very balancing. And the oils that you're experiencing are lemongrass, petitgreen, and melaleuca. So I just want to point out again that as we're moving through these different chakras and we're using this oil, remember, you may be using the oil because you have indigestion, but it's affecting and impacting all of these areas, right? It's balancing out any issues we have about fear and shame of ourselves and our body, whether it's our physical body or our mental body. It's helping to improve and bring greater balance to our overall perception of ourselves and help us to just learn and understand what it means to be in our personal power. So it doesn't matter why we're using the oil itself, as well as the gem, as well as the chakra system, as well as all the cells in our body on a physical level. It all holds this divine intelligence. So when we let the divine intelligence kind of take over, amazing things can happen, right? So with my son, we talked back about him for just a moment. You know, we were using a blend to help him to feel more confident and comfortable in his body and to protect his energy. But what I didn't share with you in that time is that his digestion is better, that he has chosen to exercise every day, that his weight has come into balance, that he feels more confident in his speech, that he's extending himself outward more. So there's huge, huge shifts in him. And all we really set out to do was to help protect him from being bullied at school. And I just think that's the beauty, that if we can stay in this state of openness and this state of desire to just bring our body into greater and greater balance, to just continue to grow and expand ourselves, amazing things can happen. So the affirmation for the solar plexus is, I am whole. I am whole. I know my personal power and use it as a force for good in all of life. Isn't that why we're all in this room? Because we really want to be a force for good. Petitgreen is one of my favorite oils. When I first opened the bottle, I strongly disliked it. We all know what that means, right? So I used it. Pedigree nudges us to look deeply within, to create discernment in ourselves. It reminds us we are unique and independent, yet deeply connected through our ancestry. And we can't bury our ancestry. I've tried. The combination, as a whole, offers the opportunity to cleanse ourselves of old patterns and beliefs, while urging us to step into the here and now, to embrace our own identity without judgment and conflict. It teaches us to cocoon ourselves with grace, with acceptance and self-love. With grace, acceptance, and self-love. It doesn't teach us to cocoon ourselves away from what we're fearful of. It doesn't teach us to cocoon ourselves and bury our old patterns and beliefs and pretend they're all going to go away, because I am witness to tell you that they come back bigger, greater. So this is a great combination. If you want to start with one, this is a good one to start with. Heart chakra. The heart chakra is located in the center of the chest. I brought you into the heart chakra when we did our little exercise to create that ball of light. And I brought you here because this is where our center of love and trust is. This is another place where we work with safety with people. This is where our inner child lives. So if we have had issues as a child with love and trust, with neglect. And remember, when I talk about issues, this is the person's perception of the issue, the perception of what they experienced. Okay? It doesn't have to be the actual, it's the perception. Because the perception is way more powerful, right, than what we actually have. We can have people who have the same exact experiences, but they respond differently. Because it's the perception. The heart rules the heart, of course, the circulatory system, the lungs, the thymus, the ribs, the arms, the hands, our respiration, our breath, our immunity. The gem that I chose for the heart is the rose quartz. Another beautiful gem for the heart is moss agate. They have two different driving forces. So rose quartz helps us to expand our love, and moss agate helps us to get more grounded in our heart, more grounded in our love, more grounded in our existence and what we want to share with the world. It helps us to know ourselves a little more deeply and a little better. Rose quartz helps us to feel strong in our vulnerability of loving. So, for this blend, you can use rose or geranium. I use geranium, cassia, and frankincense. I anchor my heart in truth and unconditional love, allowing the deep healing I deserve. We're all here to heal. We're all here to grow and expand and to become better and better and better. So let's help everybody do that.
Look at mine.
This blend comes to the heart center, offering hope and courage and self-trust to emerge healed from our emotional wounds. So often our wounds and our stories define us from a space of unworthiness and more. Allow these oils to encourage you to embrace all that you are and see the truth of your greatness. Allow this blend to assist you in peeling back the layers, and the onion as well, of self-lack, to establish within you the trust, the worthiness, the love, the safety, and the deservedness. The throat chakra, located right in the center of the throat. So everybody needs their throat chakra balanced and supported and nourished. I think there are a prevalency of thyroid issues. There is a prevalence of bone issues. The parathyroid in the throat plays a major role in our bone health. So our depreciation of our bone structure has a lot to do with our emotional state and how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about people receiving what we have to give and what we have to offer through our presence and through our voice. So the throat chakra is the place that we want to nourish if these are issues that may be saying, yes, that's me. Communication. This is also a center of detoxification and the truth in our expression. So, how many of you don't have to show me your hand, but I want you to think about it. How often do you just go with the flow? Because going with the flow is easier than really saying what is truly on your mind. It's easier in the moment. Comes back at you. So, using this blend of lavender, spearmint, and ylang ylang, this is one of my favorite blends, is very, very, very powerful in helping us find the words of love to speak our truth and to feel confident and comfortable about it. The gem is blue lace agate. It's a beautiful, beautiful gem, and it really helps to soften. Similar to rose quartz in some respect, it really holds an energy of love, and it helps people to bring themselves into a place of peace and tranquility. So this is a great gem. Pain in the back of the head, digestive issues also can show up here. Weight issues, teeth, the jaw. So thinking about these different places and what they mean in reference to Louise Hay. She's she's important in my life as well, and I've learned so much from things that she has written about. So if you're not able to make a decision in life, you're indecisive, this would be a great blend for that as well. And the throat chakra, the throat area, is a great place to be putting those oils to help with that decision making. This helps to generate flow in your system. Right? I hear and express my truth creatively in all my words and actions. This beautiful blend opens us to creative expression and assists us in realizing we may have been holding back from expressing our authentic self. Doing more than being. Doing more than being. I do very well. I had to learn how to be. As these oils allow decompression from the constriction felt from the outside, we're invited to delve deeper into what truly resonates. What vibration and vision do you wish to cultivate within, to ultimately share and create around you? This blend invites us to be in that space. So no matter where you are in this bandwidth of using your voice and expressing yourself and bringing your true gifts forward, the oils will help you to get there. And I love the divine intelligence that they have to do it in divine timing. Right? So we're never brought to a space that we're not necessarily ready for. It might make us uncomfortable, but we're never brought to a space that we can't truly handle. The brow chakra, located between the eyebrows and the third eye. So this is where our mental mind gets nourished, but also where our vision and our clarity is. This is a well-known space for our intuition. But I want to talk about it a little bit in terms of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. Also, there's a space for sleep cycles here, our nose, our eyes, our sinuses, the nervous system, the cerebellum, and the frontal lobe. So these are a lot of areas, and I want to say that right now has August and September been intense for anybody else? Okay, so this, people who feel energy like I do, people who work with energy or meditate, it's been pretty intense. And the reason is because we're constantly being kind of up-leveled and we're really being moved to try to be in a space of higher resonance and higher vibration so that we can hold that peace and that love that I was talking about earlier on. And our pineal gland and our pituitary gland play a huge role in this. And so for practitioners, I'll say, or anyone else for that matter, I don't know anybody who doesn't have some sort of endocrine imbalance where their glands are out of balance, whether that's because they crave sugar or they don't sleep well or they are exhausted all the time or their thyroid's out of balance. And the root of it is really in your brow chakra. So I invite you to use either this blend of helichrysum, vetiver, and lavender, or use your own blends, but do put them on your third eye. And do use oils here in this space because this is how we're going to help bring our pituitary gland and our pineal gland into balance and And for those of you who are a little bit more accelerated on the path of energy, putting oils in this space is going to help you to feel more comfortable with the energy shifts that are going on right now. The gem that we chose for the brow chakra, the third eye, is sodalite. And sodalite is an excellent gem to help us feel more in tune with our intuition. It opens our intuition up, and some people are afraid of that, so I want to talk about that for just a minute. We should not be fearful of our intuition. Our intuition is our inner voice. It's our inner guidance. And I'll tell you, there's way more to be fearful when we don't listen to the inner guidance than there is to listen to the inner guidance. So that tiny voice inside really, really, truly, truly wants to be heard in many, many ways. And when I haven't listened to this intuition, when I'm too busy doing and not being enough, that's usually when I find myself in a situation that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not when I'm using my intuition and I'm listening. It's not when I'm told, hey, don't go left today, go right. And I say, oh, but left's the way I always go. I'm in a hurry. And usually I'm caught up in traffic when I go that way, right? Or something perhaps worse. So taking the time to really nourish the brow chakra, or do your meditation, or just breathe. Just close your eyes and take 3 breaths. This connects you with your intuition, right? We need to be more aware of it so that we can have less fear in our space. I am the intuitive source of truth and wisdom in my life, right? Wouldn't that be great if you could trust yourself that much to always do what your inner voice is saying? This blend will help you to feel expansion in your mind. This is if a great white light expands outward in my mind's eye, reminding me that anything is possible. The mental mind begins healing the illusion I've perceived on the surface, and I'm united with a far deeper knowing than I have been using. This allows us to release our limitation. It's a great blend to use in your business if you're trying to increase in rank or move past blocks that you're feeling, uncertainty in yourself. It helps to connect you to infinite wisdom that can make anything happen. It helps us to attract miracles. Miracles are all around us, and they're dying to happen for us. We're blocking them. The crown chakra. So we spoke of this a little earlier, top of the head. So the crown chakra to me is right on the top of the head. We're going to talk about another chakra in a minute that also involves kind of top of the head. So crown chakra, very top of the head. This is about our spiritual connection. We all have one. And I'm talking about spiritual connection, not religion. This is about enlightenment. This is about where we came from. We all came from somewhere. I don't care if it's the light, the Big Bang, God, the angels, the stork. I don't care. But that's spirituality, whatever you call it. And we're supposed to stay connected to it. We're not supposed to get disconnected. And so this blend of cypress, ginger, clove, and thyme helps us to get reconnected to it. And amethyst is a beautiful gemstone that can be used for almost anything. But I love it because it really helps me feel more balanced in my nervous system. It helps me not to pick up on all the anxiety that 95% of the population feels because they're on an antidepressant. Not that anxiety may or may not come from an antidepressant. My point was that 95% of the population in America takes an antidepressant, so they must be feeling uncomfortable in their skin, sadly. So this helps us to be conscious in our spirituality, conscious in our knowing and understanding of what it is that we want to create, right? So this helps us to move from a place of things happening to us to a place of creating things that we know we want to happen and we know that we deserve. As a being of clarity, peace, gratitude, and joy, I radiate unconditional love. As this blend enters the top of the head, it creates a vortex of energy, connecting us to the seat of our soul and the energy of the divine. It helps us to feel empowered and full of self-integrity. We feel capable of letting go. Sometimes of stories we've held on to for a very long time. It holds the potential for very deep transformation. And it helps our soul to say yes to things that we might have been afraid to say yes to before. And it helps us to be in the flow. Okay? All right, so this Zeal Point chakra, does anyone know about this one? No, so this one is a fairly new chakra that's being spoken of and talked about. And this chakra is right here. So located on the back of the head at the base of the skull. And this chakra is really being kind of opened up by the energy on the planet at this point. And it's helping us to ascend. Ascension simply means raise our vibration. Be able to be capable of holding more love and acceptance of people versus hatred and judgment. All right, so this helps us to really stay in a place of gratitude and a place of peace within our heart. This chakra impacts our entire body on an energy level. So if you're uncertain as to where you think you should put your oils, any oils, these blends or others, this is a great spot. The gem that we chose for this is rainbow fluorite, and the oils are myrrh, frankincense, Roman chamomile, and spikenard. So if you pay attention to the spiritual qualities of the oils, you'll see that this is a pretty heavy hitter, right? We've got myrrh that really grounds us into the sacred energy of the divine feminine. We have frankincense that grounds us into our truth and helps us to develop trust. We have Roman chamomile, which helps us to understand more deeply our spiritual purpose. And then we have spikenard, which helps us to be grateful for all of these things. So this is a very powerful blend that can really enhance our spiritual growth. I hold the vision of peace. I know my expansion allows greater expansion for all. So this is really an important blend to help us move into a space of just greater peace. Right? It's very difficult when there's big things happening in the world to stay grounded and to stay in a place where we can trust that better things are on the horizon. And so this is a really good chakra to be putting oils on. And this is also a phenomenal blend to be using to just restore faith and restore trust and restore hope. The earth is pretty old, right? So the odds of the earth breaking apart is it's pretty slim when you really think about it. When applied to this powerful point of energy integration, this blend begins to construct a bridge between what has always been known to what is now becoming. There's a dynamic change happening, and the code of the human being is changing to hold a higher energy intelligence. It is changing in such a way to cultivate great peace. This blend softens resistance to new energy and prepares a framework for the higher vibration energies to work in coherence with all aspects of the body. Energy information helps to heal the body on the level of the DNA. And these oils are paving the way and creating a bridge to be able to do that. Crystals have been able to do it for a long time, but when we pass these oils through the crystals, they contain all the information from the oil and the crystal. And then when they get applied to the body, because we're raising our vibration, because we want to be loving and compassionate instead of hating and resentful, we have a much greater propensity to heal. Believe it or not, the emotions that we hold make a really big impact on whether we can shift and change and heal our physical body. The code for physical problems in our body is in our energy field 20 plus years before it manifests as a physical symptom. So if you're having physical symptoms, your body has been attracting in the energy of that problem for a long time. You just haven't been paying attention. last one is the soul star chakra. This one's located approximately 1 inch above the head. This connects deeply with your earth star chakra, so they're the balancing points. Earth star, soul star. So earth connects us to our physical being. Soul star chakra connects us to our spiritual, etherical being. So these two balanced together help us to have this synergistic experience in this physical body. It connects us to the divine, the seat of the soul. It's an access point to infinite energy and also our sacred intelligence. So I don't know about you, but what I'm aware of in the world is that people are moving more and more towards their passion and using more and more of themselves in their interactions with people, in their business ventures, and this is really important and really critical. So my understanding is that it is through the opening of our mind and the opening of our hearts that divine intelligence and information is going to come through that's going to help save us and really help us move forward to some of the problems that have been created. So let's be open. Let's use the soul star chakra as a funnel to be connected to greater intelligence. So we used the clear quartz because clear quartz magnifies all energy. So we want to magnify the energy of divine intelligence. And the oils that I chose with spirit include frankincense, grapefruit, marjoram, spikenard, and wintergreen. So we can see with wintergreen that we're surrendering our mental mind, and we're opening up with grapefruit and marjoram to be in communion with spirit and to something that's bigger than ourselves. And with spikenard, we're bringing in gratitude. I acknowledge I'm a spiritual being and have a deep commitment to my spiritual purpose. This blend powerfully opens up to the I am intelligence. So when you use this blend, make sure you're not saying I am fearful, or I am in trouble, or I am, let's say, I am powerful, I am divine, I am a mover of light, I bring love, right? We can think of many things that I am. Use this blend to help you become more aware of the I am statements that are going round and round in your brain. And choose to change them to powerful language. Through this blend, one learns more innately the truth of their soul purpose, and in doing so, it identifies with a greater calling and spiritual identity. As we surrender into our truth, the energetic intelligence of manifestation surrounds. And it's through unconditional love and gratitude and openness of the heart that we raise our vibration, that we evolve, that we elevate, and that we open to receive. And because of entrainment, when we do this for ourselves, we impact the planet around us, everybody. This is the way it works. So this is the tarot pack. And, I think it's really fun information, and it's a lot of information. So even if you just use a little piece of it, but it makes a really great, fun make and take, you can have a transformational energy class of your choice if you wish. You can do a workshop for energy practitioners to help them bring oils into their practice. If you have an understanding of crystals or desire an understanding of crystals, you can use this tarot pad along with it. And at the very least, you can use the tarot pad to apply change in your own life and start using the crystals and the oils. Even if you use one oil and you don't use the blend and you don't make all the blend, but use the roller balls with the crystals in it to transfer that information, right? How many times do you put oil on with one roller ball? One 10 ml roller ball. A lot of applications. So if every time you're using rose quartz, and every time you apply that oil, you're giving your body the information of love. Like, I love myself. How amazing is that? I encourage you to use the blends 1 to 2 times a day. Use the blend that you really love or you really, really dislike. The one you dislike, use that one first. You can use a pendulum or muscle testing with this as well, and I'll be around if you want to talk more about that. I'm happy to. We are all really powerful human beings. and it's our personal responsibility to our own personal transformation work and our own personal development. So please, I invite you, take responsibility for it, bring in the light, and share the light with the world. Don't share the complaining, don't share what's wrong. Everybody knows what's wrong, we can see it, right? That's easy to find. So help other people feel, see, and connect to the light, and connect with what's right. Because there's a lot of what's right. It's just a little harder to find right now. So, the virtual healing room, I spoke about it earlier. I am not a tech person. Disclaimer right now. I would do woo-woo energy stuff. You want me to do woo-woo energy stuff? I can do it. I really, really would love to share a video from the virtual healing room with you, but I don't know if it's going to work. Is anyone interested in seeing it?